Over the years, I've encountered backpackers walking the length of Great Britain and always been inspired. I've decided now's the right time for me to have a go at this myself. This is my video log. Hope you enjoy. So that hill behind me, that's Great Hangman, the highest point of the southwest coast path, 300 and something metres, and I'm keen to get that over with just because the wind is still gusting and it's forecast, it's really shit forecast today as well, thunderstorms too, so I'm going to try and get over this quickly without losing anything. Still going down. Bugger. Fairly unpleasant walking conditions just coming down there. I was getting bashed by the wind and then the rain hits. It seems like such a lovely day now when you're in the shelter. It's gone proper grim. I'm taking shelter here for a bit. I've kind of arrived in Ilfracombe now. Just this final wee climb over a nature reserve thing and down to the harbour the other side where I'm staying. Here comes the next downpour. It's certainly worth the extra climb for this view. I think I'm down in that harbour over there. It's a fairly short day, and I think this is exactly what I need at the moment. And you know, I'm aware of the lack of waterproof cover for the rucksack, and I was struggling with the hood. There's nothing wrong with it, by the way, it was just me. Just needed adjusting again and retightening so it can stay in place. And then the tent isn't waterproof, the ground sheet's not waterproof anymore. As I found out, it was damp as soon as I pitched it. I think that's kind of happened with all the tents I've owned eventually, once I've had a lot of use. So yeah, these have all compounded, I think, and made me struggle. I just need to man up again, have a bit of rest. Hopefully the weather will sort its arse out. Hopefully I'll sort my arse out and I'll start enjoying myself again. So yeah, very short day tomorrow, which should help that process. And then hopefully be able to get a new rain cover for the rucksack in Barnstaple. To be fair, everyone's struggling with this weather at the moment. That campsite I walked past, there's a couple of guys that had their tent pitched, big thing, just getting completely contorted by the wind, and they were in hysterics, just trying to pack up, saying it's game over. They've just given up, and I think a lot of people just didn't turn up in the first place because the campsites are all empty. Look at the one I was in last night, I was the only one there. A real shame, it's the weekend, you know, that's how it goes, I suppose. Cool. Really good sleep last night at the Sandpiper, and proper old school bar as well. Had a Motorhead tribute band playing live last night. I slept through it, I was knackered. Got my breakfast this morning as well, which was nice. A lass at breakfast summed the weekend up perfectly. She said she was standing beside the Verity statue, and then in about 5 to 10 seconds she just got soaked right through immediately, which is pretty much everyone's experience this weekend, regardless of what you're doing. So particularly feel sorry for people trying to wild camp along the coast. Probably weren't wild camping the last couple of days, I hope anyway. And interestingly, when I was back at the Hunters Inn chatting with the folks working for the National Trust, they were up in Foreland Point that day, Friday, the day I lost my rain cover, and they found an Osprey rucksack cover, orange. And I had seen a guy with an orange Osprey rucksack cover coming the other way, who I didn't stop to chat to because it was just impossible. I wonder, not sure if you can make out Lundy Island over there. The Grampus Inn, 4 minutes. It's a gamble, it's not 12 o'clock yet, but microbrewery. What the hell, I'm not in a hurry. So that was interesting, just been chatting with a guy. His tent got ruined Friday night. I asked him, you mean like destroyed? He says, yeah, completely destroyed, poles snapped. So he ended up in Ilfracombe last night as well. Should mention, the guy I was chatting with on my way down into Lee mentioned that he'd met a Dutch girl who'd also lost her rain cover for her backpack the same day as I did. There you go. So I don't feel so stupid. Well, I'm not the only stupid one around. That side trip to Grampus Inn in Lee was worth it. It was open, it opened at 11. I did suggest to them when I got there that they could consider putting their opening hours on that board, because they might get more custom, because some people might think it's not open when it is. And they do teas and coffees and stuff as well. Yeah, a nice pint from their microbrewery. Also ended up chatting to a guy, Richard, does long distance cycling. We were swapping stories, and he's very interested in my trip and the logistics, and because he wants to do the same next year. So there's another one. Don't know if you can see the seal. There's a few of them. It's great coastal scenery this, isn't it? The rocks really making it. This is heading to Mort Point. This is the path up to the campsite I'm staying at, a little roadway. It's parallel to a road. A bit interesting if you've got a big rucksack on it in places. It's about 8:30. I'm probably going to set up to go to bed very soon. I've had one of the most idyllic days. Lovely pub at lunchtime, conversation with interesting people, fantastic scenery. Ended up in this campsite, which is just everything I would have wanted from a campsite at this part of the walk. And yet I've only walked about 9 miles today. Great place. What a lovely introduction to a day's walk. It's quite late for me, 25 to 9, but a good sleep. I do still want to get to Barnstaple reasonably early to get to the shops before they shut. Try and get a rain cover. I should be alright for that. I might cut a corner off that looks a bit pointless to try and save a bit of time, so I can do that. We'll see how it goes. Right, on our way to Croyd Bay. Just taking a wee moment to soak this in. This is more like the dream, isn't it? Weather makes such a difference. I think that's one of the problems with these video logs. You tend to see the best weather, because trying to film when it's pissing down is it's not really practical. Like rain on the lens and all that. So just making that clear. Don't try walking in the dunes with the backpack, stay on the beach. reminds me, there's someone growing banana trees in Portland. So I was speaking with a Dutch girl who's walking the same direction along the coast path as me, and it turns out she lost her rain cover too. Anyway, she actually got on the bus to Barnstaple to buy one. Got to Mountain Warehouse, I think she went to, and got the last one. I'll still have a look around anyway, see what I can do. So I'm coming on to Bronton Marsh. I'm going to try and cut the corner here to get to Barnstaple in time for the shops. I'm going to try. So stopped at the Little Brambles shack at the car park by Bronton Marsh. Trying to use these back lanes to get to Bronton, I guess. I think I would have cut this corner off anyway, even if I wasn't trying to get a rain cover. At least it's bike path rather than road. It's about 5 and a bit miles of this, but it'll get me there quicker and I'll get to the shops in time. Got the verge cutting tractor following me. I'm in Barnstaple, been down to the high street, first outdoor shop, sold out of rucksack rain covers on Saturday. Funny that. Next one, same, they are getting a delivery on Wednesday. Third one, yes! I mean, it's 5 times the size of the one I had before, probably quite a bit heavier, but £8.50, because it was half price if I got something else. Ah, you know what, I'm going to the pub to celebrate. So it's more of this, but I'm now on the other side of the River Taw. It's actually a nicer estuary than I thought, and I know the ferry doesn't run until this evening, so I won't be able to take the ferry across the River Torridge to Appledore. So I'm probably gonna just head straight, is it west from Bideford to where I'm camping tonight, so a short day. You can see the tide's right in this time, the River Taw. I have to say, what's nice to see is this bike path is really well used. So I am trying to keep fairly true to the southwest coastal path, which is a fairly big diversion in the objective of getting to Land's End. Doesn't take a very direct route, but because of that bigger picture I am giving myself the license to cut a couple of corners here and there. I'm definitely not missing out at the majority of it though, like heading to Hartland Point definitely sounds worthwhile, which is what I'm doing. You've probably noticed from this video log I've become fairly intense about the journey again, like because this is actually my 10th last day on the trail before I get to Land's End. I'm no longer quite as relaxed because I really want it to work. It's like you imagine a footballer who's run through the midfield and broken the back line and reached the penalty box and just the keeper to beat. There's a big voice in my head going, don't fuck it up, you know, and at the same time it's like, you've got this. So yeah, that's probably where the intensity is coming from, so I do apologise if it gets a bit dull and obsessive, but it's a video log, that's how it is in my head, so I'm not going to shy from it. women in her digger back there coring out fence post holes with the wurzels blasting out. So turn the corner and now looking down the River Torridge with Appledore across the water there. Just to give you an idea, that's where the Torridge flows into the Taw, and that's looking back towards Braunton Marsh where I was yesterday and about 14 miles ago. Advantage of having this nice short day is being able to chill out and, you know, have that lovely lunch and then a pint at Instow and be on holiday again rather than just marching all the time. So I had originally planned to take the ferry across from Instow to Appledore, but the timetable at the moment with the tide, it won't run until 5:30 this evening, so that's no use. So I can't do that headland anyway without doing a hell of a lot extra. So I'm going to get down to Bideford down this bike path, and then I'm going to cut across country to the farm. About 7 miles to go. Bideford was nice. A nice high street there with all those independent shops. Just coming out of there, coming up a hill with a bag, the guy says, "That pack looks heavy, do you know how much it weighs?" I says, "No, but it's just gotten heavier as I've put a bottle of red wine from Morrison's in it." And you know what the truth is, I can't feel the difference, so it must be fairly heavy, you know. I'm about 3/4 of a mile from Westacott Farm. I've made visual contact off the open ocean again. I actually really enjoyed today, more than I expected. The bike path even, and the cafe, the pub, the random conversations. This'll do. Lucky timing again. This basic camping stove setup's been awesome though, like God knows why it's still non-stick. Don't even think about the chemicals involved in that, but it is. The wee footprint there can adjust to different size gas canisters. Some cheap thing on Amazon, but it's been great. Another top-notch campsite though, purpose built. Toilet and shower block, covered kitchen area. Awesome, £10 for a backpacker. I mean,